Hi everyone. So I want to share with you an extract from a coaching session I had with my friend Lucie a while ago now. And Lucie is a fellow coach. She's a self-love coach. She's absolutely amazing at what she does. And I think what she shares in this video, the answer to my question, is really inspiring. And it really challenges beliefs around money, common beliefs and assumptions around money. And this is why I really wanted to share it with you all, because I think it's something that you would get a lot of value from. Another thing that I wanted to say about this video is that in answer to what, in my response to what Lucie says, I also share a story which is around a celebrity, and a story that I read about this particular celebrity that I'm aware of, and someone who's quite well known, but they're also quite controversial. So what I wanted to say is, when you're listening to the story that I share, please try to pay attention to the essence of the story and the meaning behind the story. Instead of paying attention to the particular person and your beliefs around them, because that's where you will get the most value from what's shared here. And when you can relate it to what Lucie has also shared, then I do think you'll get a lot of value from watching this video.
No, that's fine.
Yeah, okay. So how do you feel like your financial situation is at the moment?
I feel like finances is something that I've really done a lot of work on.
Yeah.
In sort of definitely this year, probably I would say in the last kind of 9 months, I've done a lot of work on my money mindset, my attitude toward like energy around money, everything to do with money, basically. So I feel like financially now, I feel in actually a good place, probably one of the best places I've ever been in my life, because money was always a weird issue for me, to be honest. Yeah, and it's something that I've worked a lot on. So because obviously when me and my ex were together, and I've been through different stages. So I've had periods in the past where I've had really good jobs, very well paying jobs.
Yeah.
I didn't have to worry about money. And then use my dog. And then he also had so I didn't need to worry about money. And so in a way, then I've had other points in my life where I've had barely any money.
Yeah.
But I don't think I ever kind of respected money, really. And so what happened was, when I kind of gave up my full-time job, and then I went through a number of different phases. Daphne, come on. I had like a couple of months where I barely had like any income, and I went through so many challenges. So like in October last year, I was signed up to do a charity trek in Jordan, and so that was something I had to pay monthly. I'd signed up for it earlier in the year, when at that point I had like 3 jobs. I was on quite good money, and so coming towards the end of that, having to pay that off, and then there was always extra things that I had to find, like, oh, you need to get your flights to London. Oh, you might have to, stay in a hotel. It was all like adding up. Oh, you're going to need like some spending money. And it was just like, But so I started at that time to work really on my money mindset. I had a couple of really challenging months of like really limited income that came in. And so that was when I started to like really work on my money mindset, looking at like my income things, what could I cut out? And honestly, like I have like completely changed my life. So at that point, I like became literally Mrs. Frugal, and it's completely changed my life. Like, and I realized, and even now I can think about it and think like I used to be so careless with money. Just didn't.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have to think about it. I didn't need to think about it. And so that was the challenge, that I needed to get to Jordan. I needed to find the money. And honestly, the things that I've done, I've like, I went into my garage, I've been in the house, I've like found things, I've sold them. Even like my aloe vera plant, I've made cuttings from it, I've sold them. And I just started to see like that thing about abundance. And, you know, when you get into that mindset of creativity, you can be abundant. And that was like the attitude that I've gone through. So and now I'm just like a totally different person. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm still paying off debts that I have, but obviously when I get this money that's coming, I'll be able to wipe all of that off. And but I've like now I've got, I don't know if you've heard of Hyperjar.
Of what? Sorry.
Hyperjar.
Hyperjar? No, I've not heard of that.
So Hyperjar is like a debit card that you can buy, and you get an app for it on your phone. And within Hyperjar, you can create different pots of money for different things. So, like, say if you're saving up for a car, you're saving up for a holiday, and you can transfer money to it from your current account and put it into the different pots. So I'm doing that. At the beginning of the year, I don't know if you saw it on TikTok, they had that envelope challenge where you have 52 envelopes, and by the end of it, when you do it, so all the little pockets in the book go up to 52, so, and you put the numbers on them. So the first one you've got to put £1 in, and then the last one you've got to put like, is it £52 in? I forget anyway, but no, it's more than that. It goes up to over 100, definitely, I think. But anyway, when you complete this whole thing, you will have like over 5,000. So I said to my dad at the beginning of the year, I was talking about going away for New Year, and I saw this thing on TikTok, and I was like, no, I'm going to do this thing, so I'm going to have £5,000, right? And he just found it hilarious. But I started doing that, and I have so far got, I think I've got at least two grand, or just over £2,000, just in that thing of like, saving money in that envelope. And I've cut back on so many things. I was like, right, I'm not going to go to the hairdressers anymore. I'm going to be like dyeing my own hair, and honestly, it's like literally. And now the hilarious thing is, like, now I see people at work who are complaining they've got no money, and I can see why, because I see how they're handling their money.
I had a similar thing recently. That's why I laughed, because I had a similar thing recently where I just bought myself some hair scissors, because I just realised I'm not getting to the hairdressers, so I'm going to get my own scissors and start cutting my hair. But what I wanted to say about this, it's really interesting, such an interesting story, because I think it's amazing that your abundance mindset came not from having money where you could just spend it and didn't have to worry about it. It came from when you were starting to struggle, and then you're thinking about where are the opportunities to make money. Like, that's really amazing that's when your abundance mindset came in. It just shows that people often think, oh, someone's going to have an abundance mindset because they have like money and they don't have to worry about it. But actually for you, it was the other way around.
Because really you can have it and take it for granted.
Yeah, exactly. It reminds
me. And even like if I found change, I'd be like, oh, 20p, and I'd be like, I'm abundant, like I'm finding money everywhere.
Yeah. Oh wow. There's a story. Do you know Mike Tyson, when obviously he was rich and, you know, millionaire and everything, when he was like successful in his career, and then when his career all sort of started to go downhill, and you know, he went to prison and things like that, went through all those experiences, and there was one point where he lost everything. He had no money at all. He had no money to his name, and he was sat in his friend's garden and just like out, like enjoying the nature and just like listening to birds and stuff, and he just went, I'm rich. He was just like, I'm rich. He was pregnant. He just found he also had similar experience to you, found his abundance in that moment of not having anything. And then he did things like set up charities and things like that, because it just shifted his mindset of having nothing. Like, it just completely like made him then feel abundant, and like he wanted to do more, he wanted to share things with people, because he didn't live a rich life when he was rich. He lived his life was more difficult when he was rich than when he had nothing. So it's like, obviously that's a little bit more extreme, sort of two extremes, but it's quite similar sort of how he had that shift as well.
Yeah, it is really weird, because there was my financial peak, if you like, was when I was working for the government. Always like earning over $3,000 a month, say, definitely. And but that job wasn't really what I wanted to do. So and then when you have a lot of money, you're sometimes spending money on things that aren't necessarily making you happy. So like, you are, like, say, spending money at the hairdressers, getting your nails done, getting your eyelashes done, and then more. Now I feel like I'm becoming more my authentic self. Like, I've realized, like, those things don't really even interest me.
Yeah.
That I was spending my money on. Now, if I spend money, it's like investing in myself, in like a program or something to like develop myself, or traveling. I've just realized the things that actually matter to me.
Yeah, wow, that's amazing. Like, so it's like it sounds like you weren't thinking sort of too much about what you were spending that money on, like what you were putting that value into, because obviously like your money, like where it's going is like what you're valuing in your life. So it sounds like you almost like weren't knowing what to value until it came to the point where there was sort of where funds were more limited, and then you had to prioritize and think, okay, what do I really want to spend my money on? And then it sounds like you got to sort of self-awareness then of like, actually, I don't really care about these things. Like, what I really want to do is this, and then sort of found what you want to do with your life.
Yeah, it's all like been a complete process.
So I hope that you've been able to take some value from watching this video and found something useful in there. If you have a story that relates to, or you were able to get some insight from this video and able to change any beliefs around money and things like that, please share it in the comments. I'd love to hear about it. And thank you for watching.